my name's Ivon Smith, and I currently work for Codemasters Studios in Kuala Lumpur. I'm the technical art trainer there, which means basically I'm in charge of developing training materials to get artists into the games industry from whatever their past and history has been already. I've been working at Codemasters in KL now for 5.5 years, and basically I have got an on and off career in the games industry which spans back at least about 15-16 years. Okay. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I was very much into art, into drawing and painting. I loved all kinds of art, and then when computers came along that you could have in your home, I got one in order that I could do art on the computers, and I learned programming pretty quick and started making not just like art on the computers, but it was also things like screensavers, and then progressed into making games. I think my first game was a terrible version of Space Invaders, but this was on computers that were like the very first computers that were allowed that were made for the home. You know, I did get a ZX81, but it was not that good, and I progressed onto something that was more graphics intensive, like a Texas Instruments thing, and went from there. Then I studied engineering at university and sort of moved out of the graphics side of things, but still involved with it for a while in a technical way. And then it was very late in my life, really, when I was in my mid-late 20s, that I actually got back into computers and graphics, and then started doing 3D animation and art. Of course, I was still interested in games and played games a lot. That was part of the big thing with me was that I loved art, and I loved graphics, and I loved visuals, and I loved animation. So when I first started getting into games that I really liked to play, it was purely because of the eye candy, the indulgence of being in a graphics world where I was in control of it. So then I sort of started teaching myself 3D animation and art, and then went to college and studied it, and then dived straight into 3D animation, working in TV and films. And when I moved to Australia in like about 15 years ago, I started working for a company in New York as a games artist. From then, basically concentrated on the games industry and film and TV, and then working for Codemasters started about 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago.